other Castlevania collection, you can swap to Japanese if you wanted to play the...
If you wanted to play the Japanese version, which do, because the English version is ass.
It got rental.
Yes.
We've talked about that shit before.
And the reason Iga keeps going back to the, to Castlevania 3 is that was, I believe, his favorite of basically the classic games before he took over. He thought Castlevania 3 was like the best game in the series, so that's why he constantly referenced it with the Julius mode in this game, and why the second 3D game, Curse of Darkness, is actually a sequel to Castlevania 3. Here's hoping that playing this will a 3D collection into existence being announced later this month. If they announce a 3D collection on Halloween, you can thank me for doing this.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
I feel like at this point, because they've done basically a collection for everything else, it's an inevitability. Warp Room works like the Warp Room in the first game. I'm just doing this to open it on the map because I'm going to try to 100% this map, but I say try to because there are certain things, if those end up busting my balls and taking me too long to do, I will say fuck it and not do those. Yeah, I feel like a 3D collection, because they've gone and done basically collections for like every other game in the series, it's an inevitability. Or if not a 3D collection, potentially a just upscaled remaster of, like, Legacy of Darkness and then the two PS2 games. Because it's the one problem with a collection, if they were going to do a collection and it was going to be emulated like this collection, that would be a, like, N64 emulator and a PS2 emulator. Or something trying to do both of those at once, and those consoles are so radically different in how they're structured, that would honestly be a terrible idea.
Yes.
So I feel like they might not actually do a 3D collection, and instead those are just going to be standalone, like, upscaled remasters. Or if there is a collection, it would just be the two PS2 games. Because I think those two games use the same engine.
I think.
Actually, they likely did be, because now this is way more noticeable in Portrait of Ruin, because Portrait of Ruin is the game that's like the worst with this, but while playing this, you'll notice a lot of recycled sprites from like Symphony and also from Rondo of Blood, and the reason for that is, and I believe after, like, Iga left Konami, he basically said this in an interview. He was known for, and again, I think I talked about this in the first Asaro game, he was basically known for, oh, you can make a game on a shoestring budget? We will never give you a higher budget to work with. Instead of being rewarded with a higher budget for or later games, because that would no, as the Warp Room not save point. Instead of like being rewarded with higher budgets, man was basically always given effectively the same a budget, because man proved he could work effectively with a shoestring budget.
Yes.
And that's why, like, hence why we have all the sprite reuse and everything.
Basically.
Like, to be fair, there are new sprites, like the Mana Core sprite, I believe that's a different sprite than the sprite that was in that was in Aria of Sorrow, so there are new ones mixed in there. It's just a vast majority of the time. Like, as an example, the Ghost, I believe those are a Cycle Symphony sprite. Because that would happen a lot.
Yes. Okay.
Well, one, something funny I can actually show. This here. Oh, wait, no. Not use item. Equip. If I, like... Don't... Wait, I think it's the knife. If not a knife, it's a type of knife. Besides your basic attack was Y, you also have, like, that thrust. That was if you press A, you do an attack that uses some mana, because it's New Game Plus. I don't Oh, yeah, that was it. Hold on. To get a bit of magic back, I just want to show this, because this is a very easy thing to show. Now, you couldn't do this at this point in the game because the knife weapon I have you don't get yet, but because the A attack for this has Soma Teleport, you can actually do that to hit the gates. That is not supposed to be a thing. The reason I'm using the rewind to not do that's so I won't have that part of the map filled in and go through there, so that later when I come... And so that later in the game, I won't be like, what area was that? Oh yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, I was only able to do that because it was New Game Plus, because the one, like, that one short sword, I don't remember where... I don't remember where in the game you get... you get that. But when you get that, that is a very, very easy and very simple speedrun, like, skip you can do. Because the teleport attack actually does have you teleport, and because it does have you a teleport, you can just teleport and hit the switches. But again, I want to actually play the game normally, because if I start basically doing all the crazy speedrun skips and shit, I will get lost and confused because I will be sequence breaking out the ass. So I don't want that, so I can remember what the fuck I've done. You know, the funny thing is, I've just left the fucking Soul Eater ring on, and I have gotten infinitely better RNG than when I actually played the game normally.
That's how RNG works.
That was why that's why I left it on. It was basically for that reason. If I wanted to see how RNG, like, screwed or not I would get, and it's like, oh, motherfucker, these pig guys, I don't remember the name of. Those fuckers took me, like...
Slaughter. On the bottom, Curzon. You kill something, you still live on the bottom.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's because in the original game, if I press minus, you'll see they'll flip around, because... In the original game, with the DS only having 2 screens, you could only have the map or... only the map or the, like, enemy stat screen that shows weaknesses and resistances and drops and stuff. You could only have one of those on screen at a time. Oh, I need to remember how exactly... I need to get to that bottom area.
This is why the 3DS had 3 screens.
Don't give them ideas.
We're making a 4-screen console!
No.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to put that on the bottom for 5 minutes because it's easier to look at. I'm pretty sure I need to get to that bottom area, but
we'll make a 4-screen console!
But I don't remember how to get there because I haven't committed this map to memory. The only one of these maps I kind of have somewhat committed to memory is Portrait of Ruin, because its map is tiny. And that makes Portrait of Ruin the best one. Don't at me.
These DS games, being as old as they are, just hits me in the, oh, what the fuck.
Okay, I have to go down in this way. Okay, we're at progression now.
It's been like 20 years.
It's been 11 years. This game was 2004.
Oh, wait.
You. Look at these fucking jobbers. That's another thing about this game people don't like, is people complain about how these two are jobbers. I will...
2004? 10 years later would be 2014, Carson.
Yeah, so it's been almost 20 years. No, it's been over 20 years. It's been 21.
That was about
Oh, Dawn of Sorrow is old enough to drink now. See you later. You kidding? Alright, you're telling me this punk Lord of Darkness? Ha. Judging matters merely on appearance. Tisk simpletons are so vexing. What you call me? Dimitri. I merely stated a fact. Dario, Dimitri. Why are they both named D? Both of you enough. Like I said, I will admit these two do kind of give off the like mid-tier shonen and antagonist vibe. Like, doesn't Dario just have the appearance of basically the like Grimjaw of an arc? The character, the like MC fights around the middle. The character, the MC fights around the middle of the arc to show how big their dick is.
Making me question how long ago this was. It's 14 years. It's been like 20! 10 years would be 2014!
Yeah.
Shiver.
It's 2004, so 21 years. Like I said, this game is now old enough to drink. You talk as if you were expecting me. You fear, in peril in a for. Am I correct? Yes. I fell for your ruse. Why would you want to resurrect the Dark Lord? We do not desire the Dark Lord per se. It goes per se because typos.
Yeah.
For a god to be perfectly good, there must be a being of perfect darkness. That has nothing to do with me. If this a world does need a perfect dark being, one should emerge. Isn't that how it works? Perhaps that is so, and perhaps it is not. What is true, however, is that the power of darkness steadily grows faint. The Lord of Darkness must be... Oh. Damn it.
Must be enthroned without fail. Not a moment too soon. That doesn't mean... I don't know if I'll let this punk apart right here and now.
Have patience. You will try to stop me using whatever means there is no need for us to...
No, there's no need for haste.
Huh? What are you saying? He is in our hands now. We can destroy him whenever, however we wish. Correct! This also serves as a good test for the both of you. I see. Wait a second. Test. What? A test. I didn't hear about that. Are you incapable of thinking even a little? There is but one Dark Lord, yet there are two candidates. You and I. Technically, wouldn't someone being there make it 3? Duh. I know that. Then get this through your...
Hollow Skull.
Whoever defeats this boy becomes chosen as the Lord of Darkness. So it would technically be 3 at that point. Ah, I get it now. Yeah, okay. This will make it fun. Next time I see you, punk, I'll burn you to ashes. I shall depart also. I see no evidence of my presence here at this time. So, those two are Dark Lord candidates. Correct. They were born at the same time as Dracula's demise. Oh, good thing I was born in February then. They're inheritors of Dracula's dark powers. There's no guarantee that they can become the Dark Lord. They can by
Shattering Dracula's soul.
But enough talking. If you wish to stop me, I shall be waiting for you at the top. I may even change my mind if you survive my traps. Or you could just try to, you know, kill me right now. Maybe try to kill me before I get all the souls back. You ever think about that? I'm just saying, kill Soma before he gets powerful.
Silly Curzon, that wouldn't be fun. Laser!
Good thing it doesn't fire when you're walking up again. This is the first real boss, which is Balor, which, if you remember, was the thing at the bottom of... Oh, damn it. There was the thing at the bottom of the castle. Huh, he actually hits pretty hard in the first game, so I guess Balor got a massive downgrade. Actually, I guess I am also on hard mode, but it is funny just to... Oh, damn it. But it is funny just to see, it's like, while I am on hard mode, to see, even with the New Game Plus, and like, the good stats was the whole Dracula tunic, and every thing, the boss actually hits pretty hard now. Now, again, on the original version, this was a touchscreen gimmick, hence why the game, I believe, said it, like, you could tap. And because of that, if you are playing in handheld mode on the Switch or Switch 2, you can actually use the touchscreen. But if you're playing on PC, I believe you can actually use your computer cursor for this.
PC this ain't.
The magic seal is, I don't remember if I said this, they were also trolling, like, originally this collection made them, made them buttons because no one, liked it, no one liked them in the original.
Yes. Because DS this ain't.
Yes.
This is one of...
A few Souls also actually have touchscreen gimmicks, but I'll cover, those.
This is one of those Castlevania collections.
Yes. I do find it neat that you can actually use, that you can actually use the, like, ow. Ooh, that's big boy damage. You can actually use the mouse if you're playing on PC. With certain Souls, they actually, have uses for shit later on. Again, cover them later. The reason I'm not covering them now, while I do technically have these Souls, is just because right now, like, because of the vertical nature of this area right now, I actually do like the axe. That's another thing I was going to talk about. I briefly talked about the synthesis thing. The reason I say that I technically have all the souls, I went to get all the souls on a first playthrough because that got me the one ring, the Chaos Ring, much like in the original. But if you like look at the enemy, the soul list is like 86. The reason the soul list is that is to get basically both the weapon I'm using and Death Scythe, like in the original. You need to synthesize 2 boss souls. If you do those before getting the one ring, you can't get the one ring basically at all. A lot of people complain about that. I know it's kind of stupid and this is kind of ass backwards, but like, just do basically what I did, which is just get the ring, and then after you get the ring, go make the shit. So I'm technically missing a few bolts. Souls well, one, a funny thing because of needing certain souls in progression, that's why it's like the 86, and if I had all the progression souls, it would be like 96. where I'm missing, I think it's Death and I believe Gurgoth are the two bosses the two boss souls that I'm missing, because I used them to create both Death's a scythe like in the original and the Claim Celeste, or however you say it. I'm just going to keep calling it Light Sword, that's what it translates to. Except this thing got a, like, massive fucking downgrade in this game. Like, yeah, I know in the original it was so much better than everything else, it's not even funny, but I feel like they kinda over or nerfed it in this game, because you'll see with its animation, it is way slower and way smaller. It still deals holy damage, but I'm going to actually go, and I just saved it I saved at the start, and if I get in a scenario where I'm boned, I can rewind. Like, I know it was kinda ridiculous in the original, but I do feel like they overcorrected a tad bit. Especially because, given the needing the, like, boss souls and stuff like I said, due to that fact, it's like, you basically can only get this thing at the end of the game. The Light Sword, it is, if I remember correctly, it's, I think, the last weapon. It is the last weapon in, I believe, the Great Sword line.
So you keep saying.
So because of that, you can basically only get it out of the end of the game. I actually need applying armor for platforming in a bit. What's something actually I'll do Mana Core. Keep Mana Core around because it's like the Mana Core ability in the original. And like the Creaking Skull Bone Arm, where it makes a big towel whenever you attack. Oh yeah, that's the one dumb thing when walking on this path, is that this bridge is not permanently down. That will reset like every time.
Yes.
Another funny thing with, I gotta look at the equip for a minute. Yeah, that's the other funny thing, was the Acclaim Celeste or Solace or whatever. Again, Light Sword. It doesn't even increase your MP in this game. Or not just MP, it doesn't increase all your stats. So it's like, they nerfed this fucker hard.
Yes.
The only reason I'm keeping it around is it's still... While they did nerf it hard, to be fair, it's because of where it is at the end of the tree. It's, I believe, the strongest of the sword, of the great sword weapons. And not just that, I still do keep it around for the holy damage, because much like in the original, like, everything late game is basically weak to holy.
Mm-hmm.
I was weak to holy. It deals, it's, I believe, slash and holy damage. I'll just stand here for a minute to now be, because I can't, like, fully move it over. I couldn't go over the different types of damage. I believe it's blunt, pierce, slash, fire, water, electric, darkness, holy, poison. I don't remember what the other icon is. Stone. Oh wait, I believe it's curse. I believe that's what the
You play, I'm gonna go pee.
the dark swirl icon is.
I need to pee.
The dark swirl icon is darkness. The like little face with the red eyes, I believe that's curse damage. And much like in the first game, and so I can actually swap to it for a second to show it. Oh yeah, for a guy we still have the handgun, which is not completely useless in this game. Death's Scythe is the strongest weapon like in the original, but much like in the original, while it's the strongest. Like, as an example, that enemy is weak to, oh, not weak, that enemy resists darkness. So because it resists darkness, Death Scythe would deal, resist the damage. So, much like in the original, yeah, it's neat and all for it to be a... It's, like, neat and all for it to be the strongest weapon, except I think it being the strongest weapon is sort of rendered moot by the fact that, like, most things in the game will resist its damage types. Ah, doppelganger. Perfect. That gives you a second... If you press X, that gives you a second set of everything, both equipment and souls. So because of that, I'm actually going to have that on the main set, and then have the Death Scythe as the weapon for the side set, the Dracula's Tunica. Ah, Satan's ring. I forgot that was a thing. Again, Soul Eater ring. Something else, the different sets, because, like, I only have one Soul Eater ring. You don't need multiples of a weapon or armor to put them into a set. Same with souls, which is good. So I'll actually have the second set sort of mostly be the traversal set. So yeah, that's what flying armor will go onto, and let's put the cat, and then what's the lightning? I guess I'll just have it like that for right now. And X up armor, I'll take that off. Waiter skeleton. Oh, I fortunately didn't level that up. Let's go back to Mandragora. Because Mandragora is surprisingly OP. Ow. Just going to rewind. Trying to do that. Okay, yeah, Mandragora is still pretty OP. I think the Mandragora, when you throw it, I think that counts as, like, piercing damage. This game, the collection has that encyclopedia that shows you, like, all the weapons and armor and everything, and it lists what they do, except it seems like this collection, unless this collection always had this problem, I'm not sure. On Switch 2, this collection seems to have a problem where if you scroll through the, like, souls or sub-weapons, because those aren't just, like, a image for it, those are, like, little gifs of basically the soul or sub-weapon, the game will crash, like, super consistently. So because the game will crash super consistently, I will basically never show that, which is unfortunate, because that has a lot of useful information in it, like information on the damage type things deal. Because a few souls are actually a little confusing on what their damage type is considered. Like I said, I think the Mandragora, as an example, I think is actually piercing. I guess because the game designers think they're funny and it's supposed to be a joke about being like an ear-piercing screech or something. Damn, I'm gonna see what which was weak too. You can pay attention to damage numbers to kind of feel things out, but because attacks still have a power associated with them, even using damage numbers to sort of feel certain things out is kind of weird. I do find it so funny where I'm just, like, I'm not really, you know, trying to grind anything. I'm just killing enemies to get them out of the way and a level up. And while I am making a note to kill things, it still does kind of bother me. That's like, some of these souls took fucking hours with the goddamn Soul Eater ring, and here the game is just handing them out like Halloween candy. Ow.
It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, how many of you encountered that one error that Carson was talking about near the end of this part? If you did encounter that error, did you encounter it on the Switch 1? Did you encounter it on the Switch 2 like he did? Did you encounter it in a different version of this collection? It wouldn't surprise me if this is a Switch 2 specific issue, since the Switch 2 uses a compatibility layer to play Switch 1 games. That could basically mean they missed something, and the Switch 2 is being a bit fucky, which causes the game to crash. If that's the case, I wouldn't be surprised, but I would love to know if anyone encountered this error on the Switch 1, or if they were playing a different version of the game, because it wouldn't surprise me if this is just a bug in the game, but it seems like it might be a specific error exclusive to the Switch 2, because we're playing this on the Switch 2. And the thing about the Switch 2, in order to play Switch 1 games, it uses a compatibility layer, which is basically a mixture of hardware with a little bit of emulation to effectively reroute all the code that the Switch 1 needs and effectively recontextualize that code to function on the hardware that runs the Switch 2. So the reason a lot of games are often kind of fucky is because the compatibility layer is technically using different code than the Switch 1, because the compatibility layer basically does need to recontextualize the code from the Switch 1 and effectively reroute all those instructions to similar enough chips in the Switch 2. And this is why Switch 1 games that break do so, because the Switch 2 is causing the code to be a bit fucky, but this was a necessary evil in order to allow backwards compatibility. However, a good bonus that comes from this, it's easy to update and fix, and this also basically lets a lot more Switch 1 games more easily tap into the horsepower of the Switch 2, which is why a lot of games had very simple and free performance updates, because this is basically running Switch 1 games more directly using Switch 2 hardware, so you can actually squeak out some extra power and stability. However, the problem is the code can be really fucky. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Castlevania is a bit fucky because of some weird nonsense with the compatibility layer, which wouldn't surprise me at all, especially because it is just that one menu, and it only seems to happen if you scroll through that menu somewhat fast. So I could see testers absolutely missing that, And again, if it is a weird problem with the compatibility layer, I would not be surprised. But if people have proven instances of that glitch happening on other versions of the game, then that glitch is likely just a problem with the game as a whole and not a specific problem with the Switch 2 running a Switch 1 game, because again, that's what we're doing. We're recording the game on the Switch 2, and that was basically how Kirsten had been playing the game outside of recording it. So it wouldn't surprise me if this has something to do with the compatibility layer, but I am starting to ramble, so I do need to stop. You can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments, or you can leave them on social media. All of my social media links, as well as my Discord links, are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you subscribe to the channel, if you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. So as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later.